loved history class. I used to run my fingers over the pictures and breathe in the smell of the pages like a straight-up nerd. I love stories about adventurers and artists and inventors who are building kingdoms and just changing the world. But every year, as we'd inch closer and closer to the unit on the Civil War, so slavery, my book started to feel like one of those, Jack-in-the-Box toys. Because I knew that at any moment I was going to turn the page and see a picture that looked like my dad or my little sister or my best friend with the word slave written underneath. If I was unlucky, in the picture they'd already be dead. If I was lucky, then in the picture they'd be in a cotton field, in the blazing sun staring into the camera looking angry and defeated. I tried very hard never to look at the pictures of Black people in my history books. But now I'm grown, and I get to curate my own history lessons for myself, and that's why I started reading an old issue of the Black newspaper called The Washington Bee. And in it, I found this speech given in 1886 that I ended up having to take to my book club to hear their thoughts because I didn't know what to think.
Constantly see people.
So far, he right.
Right, he wasn't lying.
But see, I can't get with that. I see, that's what I'm saying. Everybody sees it different. I can't 100% get with that. I can't.
Well,
It's not 100%. It's like 80% true.
We got a lot of different perspectives, but that's a good thing. It helps with processing. All right, so this speech. It was given by a man named Theophile Elaine. He was mixed race. They called him a colored Creole. He was recently freed from slavery, and he was from Louisiana. His speech is titled On the Condition of the Colored People of Louisiana, and it's all about how Black folks have been doing down there since they got free. Theophile keeps repeating how he wants history to remember what he's about to say, but it won't. In his speech, he says that colored Creoles like him have been looking out for their newly emancipated brothers and sisters, and that they were in a position to help because colored Creoles were educated professionals and artists who traveled and learned the game and were making a name for themselves. The part that really got me was where he talks about formerly enslaved people. He says he wants history to remember that slaves were skilled in some of the most important industries of the day, the industries that built this country.
And it is a well-known fact, but unwritten in the history of newspapers of the country, that among the people who were slaves in Louisiana when freedom came, a very large number of them were trained before the war by their masters as a matter of business and economy, and therefore there were to be found among the emancipated slaves managers of sugar, rice, and cotton plantations. Colored persons in 1863 were engineers, blacksmiths, bricklayers, carpenters, painters, and cigar makers. And this fact should be written in the pages of history.
And then he ends the speech with this mic drop quote that made me think back on all those pictures I'd been avoiding in my history books. I thought the look I saw in my ancestors' eyes was one of defeat, but I was absolutely wrong.
When Louis XIV asked how it was that in ruling so great and populous a country as France, he had been unable to conquer so small a country as Holland, the minister replied, "Because the greatness of a country does not depend upon the extent of its territory, but on the character of its people." Amen. It is because of the industry, the frugality, and the energy of the Dutch that your majesty has found them so difficult to overcome. And that quote, oh my God.
Hello and welcome to The Secret Adventures of Black People. I'm your host, Nicole Hill. Welcome to my book club. You're all caught up on the reading, so grab a drink, some snacks, get comfortable. You good? All right, so we've got Jasmine, Rozzy, and Jocelyn here. There's years of love in this group and also some very different, very passionate perspectives, okay? So try to keep up.
And to think that the skills that they had were actually valuable skills to the economy. Like, we don't see it that way. We just see slaves and go do some work. But they were valued skills that the economy needed. My God.
That's why we're so valuable. That's why there was a whole entire war, honey, because they saw the value.
They don't put it that way. They don't put the light on that. They just say, oh, they were slaves. You know, you don't think about the skill that these slaves did was needed. That's why all them Southerners were so they were millionaires off of them slave workers. Millionaires.
And hated them.
Hated them, yes.
Hated them. Like they in your pockets and you hate them.
We don't learn about anything. Like all we learn is like they got whipped. There's cotton and tobacco and stuff like that. But it's nice to know that, you know, they did have like these skills. And then it's also interesting to know, like with the skills they had, it feels like they or we should be so much further in life than we are, you know, because like when you look at how history has gone and like we have all these wonderful Black people, they have like their own towns, their own banks, their own this, and then it's been destroyed, right? Yeah. And so it's just like, you know, it's just like we could just be like have so much more in life and be so much farther if like people were not jealous of the wonderful talents that we embody, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of, I mean, it makes you proud, but it's kind of disheartening too.
I mean, just reading this short article, you feel that pride, you feel that confidence, and when you don't have that, it's easy to be shaken down, even in the face of hardships. And it's like these people were full of pride of who they were, their skill. Like, this is what we have. It was almost like they're showcasing themselves because they're so proud of what they know that they can do. And I feel like that's something that we can take on. Like, be proud, you know, of even in every little gift you have of being African American, our history. I think it's important for us to educate like our children.
I mean, I think confidence and all that stuff is really, really great. But I mean, what breaks my heart is these people had all these confidence, all this stuff, yet white people can still take from you. I mean, that's just so frustrating. Like, yeah, okay, great confidence, but like, all right, how can I shut somebody down from taking from me what I have? Like, that's so, I just can't imagine that part of it. Like, you feel like you make such a way and then it's taken from you. You got to start back all over again. Like, that would drive me out of my mind. It would drive me out of my mind because it's like you can't win for losing.
But these people didn't stop. They kept going. They kept.
No, but I'm not saying don't stop.
No. I'm not refuting you. I'm just saying like the persistence that they had, they did not stop.
I mean, but with all the persistence for me, it's like, for what? Sometimes it's just like, look, y'all can have this country. Like, fine, I'll go somewhere else. Like, sometimes you get so tired of, I'm not saying don't stop fighting. Always fight, for sure. But I just am the type of person where I get tired. I don't want to constantly fight. Like, fight for something I should have been born with the right to be given. Like,
but that's not the life they had. That is not the lifestyle.
But I'm just saying, reading the article, I just feel sorry for them.
We actually can discuss and consider. They couldn't even consider it. They couldn't even consider it because that's not the life they were born into. Like,
right.
That's what I'm saying. The hardships and their mental strength that these people had. I mean,
it was strong.
Unheard of.
It was strong. That's why I was born in 1983 because I couldn't do it. Honey, if I was born in 1840, 1863, I'd be like, you know what? I'm not made up of all. I don't know. The Lord just knew because I can't.
So where did that change out? Is my question. How I guess because
even people now talk about how blacks need to like kind of stick with each other and build up our race, our community, our people. And I feel that, but I just also have this side of me that feels like we're not the only ones in the world. You know, and it also goes back to me, like, God created everybody. Like, and I think because blacks have been so downtrodden and beaten down, and we've been so mistreated, you want to rebuild that back up. But I feel like in rebuilding the one, you have to rebuild all. Like, you can't just only rebuild the one. Like, what about my brother who's suffering over here? I'm rebuilding our community, but there's another whole community suffering. Like,
my response to that is, we'll get to them once we rebuild. I don't think building the black community is saying out everybody else. I
know it's not saying that,
building the black community, because we have been, more than any other race, we have been so oppressed for so many years in so many countries in this world. Yeah. I mean, that's a fact. Right, Nicole? Isn't that a fact? Is that not a fact? It's just truth. And I'm with human nature. I don't hate other races, but I am very much so for building our people, because our people have been oppressed. And it's systematically oppression. It's in whatever all the oppressions are. I don't know all them words, but black people have been affected by all of them.
And still affected. You're right.
Still affected.
I definitely understand both points of view. I just feel that, like, we've been raped. Sure. And I'm not thinking, you know, like, not in a sexual, well, definitely a sexual way. Yeah, but, like, our culture, our invention, like, we have been taken from so much. Everyone loves to talk like us, and, you know, do all this other stuff. Like, like, everyone loves what we represent. Everyone loves our culture. They want to rap. They want to say the N-word in the rap. They want to, like, dance, twerking. Like, you gonna teach me how to twerk? We've been twerking since I was, like, 16 or something. Don't play with me. Like, it's just, like, it's all this stuff they want to take. Like, people take, right? And it's just, like, you get tired of people taking stuff. Like, we need, like, people take, but they don't respect us. People take, but they don't want to sit at the table. They want to,
they don't acknowledge.
They don't want to invite us to the table. They want to, our culture is like you think about all this stuff people have continually taken from us, and it's just like, okay, we need to stop. Like, y'all not going to continue to take from us. Like, we are going to, like, we need to build ourselves up. And I really feel like, and I'm with you, Riley, like, all mankind, especially being a Christian, it's like, I mean, okay, you can't forget about everybody else, but, you know, you gotta love everyone. If we don't love ourselves first and take pride in ourselves, we can't love the next person.
I agree. When this country learns to respect black people, I bet it will have no problem respecting everybody across the board.
Okay, but what about the thought if we learn to love ourselves? Like, what if the country never loves us? Like, what if we never get the outside love? It starts from loving yourself. Like,
don't deny that, but me loving myself does not mean you should love me too. I can say yes, I should love myself, but I can also say white people should love me too. It's because I'm a human being, and that's the issue. It's not, to me, it's never been an internal thing. Black people have had pride for so long, but I just feel like, to some degree, pride ain't got you nowhere. Like, where has pride gotten us? Because nothing changes in this country. Like,
I don't agree with that.
Pride has been the thing that has kept us going. But pride has not gotten laws changed, and, you know, I guess, you know what I'm saying? I mean, to some degree it has, but I don't know. I just think you need more than pride. Like, we need, like, 5 more black presidents.
But then some argue that we need to stop looking for change from a system that's not going to give us change.
That I agree with.
Nope, you saying pride hasn't changed laws, but it's like, that may not be the end goal that we need. Yes, we need legislations. Yes, we need all that working in our favor. But it's like, I truly feel like it starts from the inside. Like, there are a lot of African American people who do not have pride in our own history.
Understand, and that's why I say build the black. Build the black. Build the black. White people need to build the black. Spanish people need to build the black. Asian people need to build the black. It is hard to have pride when nothing is given to you. What are you prideful about? If I'm living in the ghetto, I ain't never seen a yard with grass. It's just dirt. What pride do you have? I mean, it's hard to pull pride from dirt.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
That's
it's
true.
just,
That's
it's
true. That's true. That's true.
understandable why our people are the way we are. And it didn't start because we came over here feeling that way. We had pride in ourselves back home. But it's been snatched full 500 years. I ain't talking about like 20 years of a bad marriage. I'm talking about thousands of years, hundreds of years. I mean, I just think it's very understandable. I think it's our time and it's our turn. That's all I'm saying. It's black people's time and it's our turn, and rightfully so. Everybody need to get on the train. Please. Jesus is on the train, honey.
Our time and our turn. All right. That's another slogan. Our time and our turn. All right.
Before it was like, we believe in humans. Now it's like, cross that out. Our turn.
Give me a few years on the humans. Just black right now.
No, I understand though. I understand. I feel like if I would have had this pride, you know, like when I was a kid, I feel like I would be so different. Like, I mean, even my hair, I think we talked about this. Like, even like if my hair, man, like
hair is such a big thing. I'm telling you, it's such a big thing, especially for the darker African.
Yes. Like, it's just like if I would have been taught some of this stuff as I was growing up, I would have so much more confidence in myself as a person, so much more pride.
I wish this kind of a conversation could happen amongst so many more people, because you learn from one another. Like, we may not agree on everything, but you learn, and it opens up your mind.
This kind of conversation increases that pride, because it reminds you of who you are, it teaches you what you did not know, and it makes you feel like you're somebody.
And then you're almost left with a call to action at the end a little bit, like, okay, what can I do?
The Bible says train up a child, like, in the way it should go, you know, and they won't depart from it or whatever. It's just like, we gotta start
give it all to them. That's right.
Right, we gotta train our kids up. Like,
I agree.
Kirsten and Kendrick about to get an earful, poor babies. Y'all come here.
You've been listening to The Secret Adventures of Black People with me, Nicole Hill, host and producer. Everything you need to know about the show can be found at thesecretadventuresofblackpeople.com. You can follow it on social media, donate, write in with your own story. I'd love to hear it. Just visit thesecretadventuresofblackpeople.com. Shout out to the book club, Jasmine, Rozzy, and Jocelyn. Rozzy and Jocelyn are actually sisters and beautiful singers. You can find links to their music in the show notes. Thank you for listening and supporting the show and sharing it with your people, especially in California and New York. That's where the majority of my listeners are. I don't know what's going on in DC, but I'm not offended. If the world were open and I did things like tours, I'd have the best time going coast to coast seeing y'all. Rain check. Wherever you are, thank you for listening to these stories about Black folks holding it down across space and time.